Last time on Dice Funk.
What do y'all think happened to the family here?
I mean, it's possible they just needed some peace and solitude to, work on solving the mysteries of life and such.
Or perhaps they were kidnapped by the Fruit Warrior. And Reaper is going to pull out the yellow banana badge that we found by the edge here. And she's just holding on to, and she's imagining a very powerful warrior leaving these behind as a calling card.
I got one of my teeth knocked out in a fight once, and I was told to keep the tooth so they could try and put it back in. So, Barbella is going to pick up the leg and, sling it over her shoulder with the intention of, yeah, we'll definitely be able to put this back on.
I guess we want to ask, what do you have anything down here people would want or anything like that?
Yeah, the vent. It's untold riches. What are you talking about? We're in the middle of a vent rush. This is generational wealth. Miss Punch a lot?
So Boyce will ask, on the topic of your claim on this vent, do you mind if I ask what material you get from here? I've been trying to make notes on that for construction purposes for all the homes I'm trying to put together here.
Oh, that's a family secret. We don't tell out to anybody. In fact, I don't even know it myself. Papa Capeheart keeps that one close to the carapace. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not dead. In fact, I could never die. Not until I bring him back.
And ahead of you, you see what appears to be a column of red smoke coming out from the sea floor. This is the thermal vent that the Capehearts have a claim to. And as you approach, you see, it spouts up out of the ground and creates kind of this red cloud. And that kind of obscures your surroundings for a moment. If you had come here without Mama Capeheart, this would be the point when you realize coming out of the red smoke are dozens of other hominids, each with sharp claws and different abilities they could have used to attack you or take you prisoner. But instead, their claws become hugs as everyone rushes in to see Mama Capeheart and welcome you to the family, because you are now an honorary Capeheart, and a dozen hominid cousins, uncles, brothers, sisters, nieces, and mothers all run up, and you are pulled into a crabby hug.
I got into a debate on the way home to record this tonight. Lobsters, just long crabs.
Oh my god, Laura, you can't. I have this whole lobster thing prepared. You're gonna ruin it.
Okay, wait, look, we can circle back to that when lobsters show up, but lobsters, long crabs.
Oh my god,
I'm
no.
planting my flag in the ground on that nice and early.
You can't do this.
Are crabs just short lobsters?
No, crab is the default. Lobster is I'm a crab that decided to get fancy. I wanted to be able to walk more than just left and right.
We're just here upsetting marine biologists left and right. Amazing.
Much like the crab, left and right. That's the only ways it can walk.
Laura, since you're the one who's kicking this hornet's nest, this is probably the finale of the crab arc, the opening of Wet Team. So this will be the last time we introduce ourselves. Who is Laura K. Buzz, and where can we find her stuff?
That's me. I'm Laura. You can find me on the internet at Laura K. Buzz, because I've got that good unified branding basically wherever you find people. I'm playing Barbella, who is she's fish lady, big muscles, big love of riddles, not very much else going on in that little brain of hers. Things that I do do weekly videos about accessibility in video games that you can find over on youtube.com/LauraKBuzz, and I do a bunch of other stuff, but the one I'm going to promote right now, it will have been out a while ago by the time you hear this. I did a book called Gender Euphoria. It is an anthology of trans people's positive gender-affirming stories. It's now available as an audiobook. If you would like to listen to 8 hours of me reading my own and other trans people's just good feels, good vibes trans stories. So check that out wherever audiobooks happen. That's me. Hi.
I guess I'll be next. Michael Skitchiano. I just go by Skitch. You can find me easily on Blue Sky, or most of the places is either Skitch or Skitch Music or Skitch Studio. Music and audio when I have the chance for it. Helping on Dice Funk. Otherwise, permanent lurker on the Dice Funk Discord server when necessary also. So in terms of things that I'm working on the side, finishing up stuff for Rezubian. Shh, it's not gonna be in the recording. But other than that, just just hanging out here and looking forward to what we end up doing for this season here. So exciting times.
That means it's me.
That's right.
Quinn. And you can find me in the manga podcast I do pretty much anywhere. You just type in Weekly Manga Recap and it'll lead you there. I mean, there's probably some sites that won't. I guess like the Library of Congress, but like one day we're going to be there and then we'll have taken over everything.
Yeah, I mean, I assume you're on Ask Jeeves, probably DuckDuckGo. Have you think there's any you're banned from?
Let's see. I'm sure there's some shitty ones, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. Me and Jeeves are cool. We patched things up. We went back, we buried that hatchet.
You're on Bing, Pornhub, all the big search engines.
Oh yeah, if you type Weekly Manga Recap into Pornhub, you'll get some spicy things. It's real good stuff.
And of course, I'm Austin Yorsky, Dungeon Master. I'm also on the other side, so you'll have heard me introduce myself there. So patreon.com/Austin Yorsky for all your podcasting needs. Your help makes the show possible. If you don't help the show, it doesn't a show anymore. So that would be sad, wouldn't it? Who would tell you all these fun facts about crabs?
Yeah, and how they when they get long, they lobster.
Okay, Laura, you've bullied me for the last time.
That is not true. There's going to be more bullying inbound here, most certainly.
All right. So last we left the adventure, the team had found the Capeheart hydrothermal vent. So in our world, there are two kinds of hydrothermal vents: black smokers and white smokers, which, as the names imply, shoot up like large columns of black and white smoke, respectively. In this fantasy magical world, it can be any color and can contain any magical or fantastic thing we can imagine. Right now, you don't know what is in the Capeheart vent, but there's just this huge column of red smoke behind you coming out of the ground, but you were surrounded by dozens of crabs of all shapes and sizes. So the one who brought you here, Mama Capeheart, is the horned ghost crab, but there's also tons of other crabs who are all crawling all around you, chattering excitedly, asking you questions, pulling on your arms. You are now being inducted into the family because you fought that goblin shark to the death for the matriarch of the family.
Yeah. I want to say that Reaper has forced the children into a line. So, and she has a list, and she's like, all right, what do you want for Christmas? And no matter what the children say, they're like, I want blocks. Like, you're getting boxing gloves. And then, like, the next kid will come up and be like, I want a basketball. You're getting boxing gloves. It's every person is boxing gloves. Like, I'm taking notes, but every person boxing gloves.
Okay, so you're saying that because Reaper is obsessed with violence. We did not plan this beforehand, but I do have to introduce you to one of the crabs here, or two of the crabs, in fact. The children, this is the little boy Capeheart and little girl Capeheart. These are just the kids, the twins, I'm going to call them. And they are boxer crabs. I'm putting a picture in here. They're called boxer crabs because it appears as though they are wearing boxing gloves. I know this sounds like Quinn and I coordinated this. I did not know you were going to do that. But these crabs in real life, they pick up sea anemones and they wear them on their hands as a kind of symbiosis because they are immune to the venomous sting of the anemone, but they can hit you with them. There's a Pokemon based on this.
Yeah.
Crab Brawler?
Crab Omnibus.
Crab, yeah. Yeah, they're just of all form. Yeah. So the punch crabs. But yeah, these are the kids. That's what I wanted to introduce after this, but I like this idea is you're telling all the crabs they're getting boxing gloves, and then 2 boxer crabs come up to you and they're like, what do we get?
Boxing gloves with the stinger on it.
Yay!
That's barbed wire.
Yay!
You two are my favorite.
Yay!
Barbella is in the background of this scene. If you were to just glance, it looks like, giving the children a little ride, sort of lifting them up and putting them down. It's a fun little game for the kids. No, Barbella is doing weight training. This is a good opportunity to get some reps in.
All right. Can I get an athletics check from Barbella to get some reps in?
Athletics. Yeah, let's not drop these kids. 11.
Yeah, you're doing a decent job. Yeah, paint me this picture. You succeed, but you don't get anything special for it.
Look, these are far from her best reps. These kids are wriggling, they're writhing around, they're like, yeah, I want to go higher, just throw me up in the air. It's like, no, I'm supposed to be doing very, very standardized repetitive movements. That's how I get the good curls in.
All right, and you have attracted the attention of yet another crab who you heard a lot about last time. This is Cousin Cletus, who is a Yeti crab or a Yeti lobster. Laura, all week I've been waiting to talk about this, and then you come in with your lobster hot takes.
Okay, tell me your lobster facts that I'm definitely not going to disagree with.
Okay, so this creature was only discovered 20 years ago, the Yeti lobster. They look like they're covered in fur. It isn't actually fur. I don't know if you all want to talk about this image you're seeing.
Those look like spikes. Like this thing looks very unpettable unless you're really careful on the back.
So you're right, but it does also look like a man who's never been out in the sun once, like the palest skin possible, who is really, really trying to convince himself that he can grow a beard that he can't quite grow yet.
Yeah, it's like a patchy kind of fur. Actually, what those are called seta. They're just like protein growth things. They're similar to fur, but not quite exactly that. But it's also known as the hairy lobster because it is something called a squat lobster. Let's say that to the tune of Rock Lobster. Squat lobster. If you want to look this up, they are more closely related to crabs than quote unquote true lobsters, which is what when you go to the grocery store and you buy a lobster to cook and eat. But there is this fucking gray area between these animals. Literally look at a picture of a squat lobster. It looks like a crab that doesn't know what the fuck it's doing.
I'm looking at it now, and I maintain what I said. A lobster is a long crab. This squat lobster is not long enough to be a lobster. That's still a crab.
It doesn't cause you to at all question your assumptions because this is a lobster that is short.
No, I think that whoever called this thing a lobster was lying to themselves. This is a crab. It isn't long enough. This is 2/3 of a lobster. Add another third onto it. It's a lobster.
But you heard last week from the grandparents that Cletus isn't actually related to the family. They just kind of adopted him, and he will, tell you all, welcome to the vent. I found this with Papa Capeheart back in the day. So, if you have any questions, let me know.
What's inside of it?
Oh, well, that's it. This is also, by the way, everyone here is like, yo, we having a party, woo! And then Cletus comes up to you and is like, actually, that is a closely guarded family secret, ma'am.
What color comes out of this smoke?
That's a great question. I've said red, and I want to double check my audio file, because if I'm wrong, it's going to be very embarrassing.
Okay, because I note that Reaper has a vial of red spice. I didn't know if this is the same shade of red.
I'm back. I did say last episode that the Capeheart vent is shooting out red smoke. So you'll need to investigate more to know more about that.
Okay. Does it look like the vial that I have? It's or is it just like a different red?
You can't tell without rolling something.
Okay. Can I swim over and take a look? Are they going to attack me?
I don't know if they don't attack you necessarily, but if you start pushing through the crabs to get to the vent, Cletus will step in front of you and say, "Excuse me, ma'am. I know Mama Capeheart has vouched for you, but this is our family livelihood, and we're in the middle of a crisis right now. One of you is carrying the patriarch of the family's severed limb.
That's why we're here. We got to get the leg back in time that it can be put back on. I think that's how legs work. I'm pretty sure that's how legs work. We got to get the leg back.
Okay. Well, you can visit the vent supervised. Kids, come with me. Cletus is flanked by the 2 boxer crabs and is going to accompany you, Reaper, if you're going to approach the Capeheart vent.
Sure.
All right. Boyce, have you done anything yet so far? But Barbella is lifting.
I mentioned this while you were deafened here, but the idea I have for Boyce is that mostly what I assume the kids are doing is that they're like piling up on Boyce's familiar Gotti and like trying to get like ride it around like some sort of like pony or something. Just getting rides on that thing, especially if Gotti like increases in size to be able to host many crab kids on its back and just move about while Boyce just sort of takes in the scene, kind of noticing like how like Boyce is like, it's not like this is specifically where the domicile for the Capeheart family is, right?
This is the work site. Their camp was destroyed. That was the first thing you found.
Right. So basically just kind of observing from a distance things like the vent and otherwise. But Reaper is definitely taking point when it comes to getting a closer look at what the vent actually spitting out. So Boyce is fine to let Reaper investigate initially while just taking notes and maybe even idly drawing up like a hypothetical plan for a new, more rigid domicile than the campsite that the family had in the first place. So
yeah, you'll note that this entire worksite, there's a vent that has like a big structure built around it. It seems to be some kind of like net or basically a filter to catch the stuff coming out of the vent. There's all these containers they have where they're trying to store the stuff that they're collecting. So it's like a full on, if you're imagining like a gold mine, right? There's like carts and there's all kinds of stuff. It's essentially the equivalent of that.
It's a series of like reverse osmosis filters, but for the explicit purpose of purifying and isolating whatever the red particulate matter is from all the other debris that's mixed with it to make it more pure and workable, for sure.
Reaper, you're approaching the vent. Can I get a nature check?
I can do guidance, yeah. I just toss the guidance that way, so I add a bonus D4 to that on there. Just like
I got a 14 with the guidance.
All right, I needed 15 to tell you more than this. I'll tell you what the average is. That
did I say 14? I don't know how to math. 15.
Nope.
Wink, wink.
I do know how to math.
I'm 1 under. Just give it to me. I have a -1 to this score. Come on. Did I get a +1 bonus for having spice on me?
Can I get a +1 added over there for like being a good friend, being like, I believe in you. You got this.
Here's what I'll say is that you have a vial of stuff you got from the last vent you saw, which had like fine grains of what could be called a spice. This stuff that seems they are larger, coarser grains. It is different. So these are not the same kind of thing is what I'll tell you with a 14.
Okay. They won't let me get a sample of it, I'm assuming.
That's a good question. I think if you start to, Cletus is gonna put his big long arms in front of you to like kind of hold you back and say, "Are you sure about that one? I don't know if that's a good idea. We don't know what this stuff does."
This feels like a design flaw in your family. More than one person should know how your entire ecosystem runs.
I mean, I would agree. It's like the 2 people should know the secret recipe, and they shouldn't ever go on a plane together at the same time or whatever. I do have a question though. You say only Papa knows what's coming out of that vent. Can you think of anyone else who would know? Like, I'm thinking, like, have you tried to sell some of this to like an outsider, or like get someone to help you package it? Is there anyone outside who would know what this is and know that it's worth attacking you for? Like the
Baron's business banana boys?
Yeah, Cletus says it's pretty common knowledge in the family that the Baron's banana boys tried to buy stuff from Papa, and he sent them packing. So I don't know what they know, but they're the ones who keep trying to take our claims. So they're suspect number one.
Okay, I don't think anyone's answered me on this yet. Are they bananas that go and attack people, or are they people who attack people to get bananas?
I think they're just people that attack people wearing like banana pins and paraphernalia. So
well, that's
I don't think they're
possible,
either.
does Cletus, do you know? I need a straight answer about these bananas.
There are a variety of different people who identify themselves with badges, banana badges for the business boys.
So not living bananas.
No, that would be really weird.
That would be absurd. Living bananas? Who would think of such a
I'm just a simple crab man living on the bottom of the ocean near a magic vent. Why are you being weird? What?
I have a thought. So during all this, Boyce will interject and be like, all right, so I don't want to pry too much of like what the raw material is coming out, but is there like a form that you all process it into before distributing, or is there something you convert it into that we could look at to maybe better understand why you're all being targeted this way?
Yeah, Cletus, gestures to the various, the things they've built and are maintaining around here. So there's like an area where they're gathering the stuff and kind of shaping it into like blocks and packaging it. There's, the whole apparatus for catching the stuff. Like if this was an adventure game, there's like 3 interactive areas. There's the vent itself, the net that they're using to catch the stuff, and then the piles of the stuff that they have like nearby.
I guess the question is, what is the intended final purpose of the product that you're making here? If it's just if this is just the refined output, what's its main use?
I don't know how else to tell you that Papa Capeheart's in charge and taking care of this.
Then we have to get it back. Where are the Baron's business banana boys? And where can we beat them up?
That's a great question. If I knew that, I'd be there, and I'd be throwing my huge hairy hands.
There must be some idea, though.
Oh, I have a plan. I have an idea. Are there like barrels that the stuff coming from the vent is put into, like some kind of containers?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Barbella's plan is get one of those containers and put it somewhere very visible with stuff from the vent written on it. And just put it very visibly, like do. No one's really guarding this right now, and they'll come, and that's when we get them.
I can actually add to that. Boyce has a spell they can use, which is Tiny Hut. They can cast it as a ritual, and we could make like a fake silo or a fake storage facility for this sort of stuff by building up this thing and just having it sit there with a big old sign that just says, Capeheart family secret recipe storage, do not touch, kind of energy, and just see if someone takes the bait.
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely do this. It sounds like a deception roll to set up basically a honey trap.
I'm not terribly deceptive, but I'm going to give it my best shot. 11.
Oh boy.
Suspicious, but worth trying to steal it just in case it's not a trap.
Boyce is not particularly deceptive with only a 9, so they're not going to pull off much here.
Is this an all of us roll?
Whoever wants to.
Well, let's just say I didn't roll. It's the 11 and a 9, which averages out to a 10. I don't know what that roll that just showed up was. It's a glitch.
I don't know.
This roll 20 is weird.
It's so weird. So you all are trying to create basically a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner scenario where you put out some bird seed and you're hoping that the Roadrunner is going to run right into your trap. I will say this takes long enough that the other Capehearts you've met show up. Grandma and Grandpa, the Candy and Blue Fiddler Crab, respectively. I'm just going to put them here. I think these are all the named characters we know. Named is strong.
I was gonna say I'm Papa, Grammy, Grandpa, Mama, the twins, and Cletus.
Yeah. Cletus, that was totally improv. I didn't have a character named Cletus planned. I just kept talking. But you put a barrel in of the stuff out and you leave it somewhere where you think the Banana Boys will show up, and you wait for a while, and they don't, at least for the time being. But everyone else is here, and they're like waiting behind a ridge with you. You can continue this conversation, I think, or try something else.
I should have put a sign out that says "not a trap." I think that's where we went wrong.
Can I take a look at this net and the material, like after it's been processed?
Yeah, sure. You want to roll investigation?
This really felt like more of a perception thing. Oh man, yeah, I'll investigate it. That is a 16. That's pretty good. You can't take that from me, Austin.
That's a 21 from Boyce to help with the investigation.
Barbella is still trying to work out why this foolproof plan with the trap didn't work, so Barbella is not jumping in on this.
All right, so Barbella, you're the one who had the trap idea, I believe. So you set that out, and you're still watching it to see if anybody shows up. Boyce,
yeah,
Reaper.
Barbella's putting out signs that say like, "Really, really, really, I promise not a trap."
Boyce and Reaper, you're searching the scene, and with 21, Boyce, you're walking around the edge of the vent, and you hear a voice from down inside of it whisper, "Psst, come on down here, boy."
Wait 1 second. Boyce just kind of peers around and then sort of pokes his head over the ledge. Just kind of looks down, and there's like, wait, who's all down there? What's going on here? Just kind of.
Are you doing this secretly? Because the person's addressing you in a kind of sotto voice.
Yeah. It's like it's just hard for me to do like the drawl and a whisper. It's just all. But he's doing kind of in a hushed tone, just like they peer around, make sure no one's really looking, and then just sort of pokes their head over the ledge to see if they can see who's who whispered over their way.
Yeah, so you are leaning down into the vent, and a large claw comes up and grabs you and pulls you down into the vent.
Excellent. Perfect.
Reaper, what are you up to?
Just like kind of looking over the net and like, stupid, should be able to grab it with your hands. That's the only way to truly get stronger. I wonder if they explode. Everything's making me think they explode.
What do you mean?
The stuff that comes from the vent. Cause I like, oh, don't handle it. It'll don't just grab it with your hands. I wouldn't. I'm like, it must explode then. That's the only reason why you wouldn't want to handle it with your hands.
Can I get an Arcana check, Reaper?
Sure. Let's go through every one of my negative stats in a row here. 14.
How would Reaper conduct an Arcana check on some mysterious stuff? What would your vibe be?
Kick the box.
Yeah, I think you kick with your mighty monk muscles.
Not like I'm trying to like fucking send it into space. Like just like do something and just like kick it.
I like to imagine it like if you're punching or hitting something, you're almost like sensing the microscopic vibrations that are sent through it, and through that you're able to gauge things like the density or other characteristics of it. But you don't think in those terms. It's just like that's what's going on in the mind. It's just like, how tough is this stuff? Kind of stuff.
Reaper, you kick some of the pile of the stuff with your mighty monk muscles, and there's some kind of reaction. There's underwater. It's like there's a rapid pressure change, and like bubbles come out when you kick the stuff.
I don't know what this means, Reaper's going to say to herself.
You got a 14 once again. So something happens when you apply extreme force to this stuff. Barbella, before we come back to Boyce, who's been pulled into the vent, is there anything going on with you?
Yeah. Okay, I think Barbella's gonna go to Mom and try and get some information. So be like, do you have any prior history with these banana people?
Oh no, they showed up. They show up at everybody's vents. They're trying to corner the market, so they're just trying to buy up all the vents they can, or force people off the land. It's gonna be a vent baron.
Is this like they don't care what the vent is? It's just like if it's a vent, we want it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think once you got them all, you can kind of name your own price. It's what I call a monopoly.
Yeah, and I'm guessing. I'm guessing if someone were to say no, vent's not for sale, that they're not going to just respect that.
Well, that's what we're worried about. I mean, we don't have any proof the Banana Boy's done nothing yet, but that makes sense.
Okay. Do the Banana Boys have any weaknesses that you know of, such as being peeled like bananas?
I mean, I imagine that the weakness is that these are just a bunch of randos who are doing tasks for the big boss, the Baron. So, I mean, they're just kind of just dudes, just randos.
Is the Baron somewhere specific that we would know?
No, not that I know of. I mean, that's why they're doing the badge thing. It's kind of anonymity. Anemones. Like the twins
Anemones. It's anemones.
Yeah.
Oh. I had one of those thought things. If the banana boys are anemones, anemones, could there be a banana boy in the family?
Boyce, you've been pulled into the vent.
Oh, sweet.
And you get pulled down through this red cloud, and you seem to be falling for a while. You have a claw grasped around your arm, and the person who's grabbing you is like scuttling down to get away from people who would overhear the conversation. And you come face to face with a giant Japanese spider crab.
I'll say that while Boyce being pulled down, part of their concern is make sure they have a hand up to hold on their hat. They're wearing like one of those like wide brimmed Western cowboy type hats, and they don't want to lose their hat. It's a nice hat, but they're just being dragged along and keeping quiet for the most part on the way down. And once they're kind of away from earshot, just be like, "Oh, what tarnation are you doing, pulling me down here like this here?"
Can't be overheard, son. Enemies everywhere. They got eyes on the outside, and I'm down a claw. And Papa Capeheart shows you where his whole fucking front limb is missing.
Oh, wait, we actually brought that back for you. I can go back up and grab it for you real quick if you want.
Not until the coast is clear. I don't know who I can trust.
I find it weird that you're trusting me as someone who's just been inducted into the family, as it were.
I overheard you say Mama Capeheart from the Goblin Shark. I'm in your debt. You were my sworn brother. I will kill anyone else in my family for you. Jesus.
Even the twins?
I don't play about my lady, son. Next question. Best not tarry.
Fair enough. But I mean,
you have no idea how that crab pussy grip. Oh my god.
Well, pardon me from asking here, but just like in terms of like enemies all around, I'm like, we're trying to figure out who's part of the banana bunch that's been trying to swipe your the supply here and unsettle your camping site and all that.
I understand why you suspect the Baron's Banana Boys, but I sent them boys packing. They don't know what this stuff is. They don't know how to fool me. Someone in my own camp done sabotaged the stuff and blew my damn arm off.
Huh. You don't say. Now that Boyce is close up to it, can he attempt to interpret what this might be? Since he's kind of surrounded by it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Papa Capeheart will just tell you, this stuff is a powerful magical component. It is highly reactive. Up on dry land, a single pinch of this can blow a house clean to tinder. Underwater, not as strong, but if you know what it does and you have some kind of magical means, you could, for example, blow someone's arm off if they were holding some of it.
So the question then becomes, if it's someone in the family that did this to you, obviously question number one would be, why? Are they just trying to take you out so they can maybe cut into it themselves, or maybe like refactor the family around themselves, or maybe they're trying to cut a deal with some other group that you would disapprove of and trying to cut you out from the arrangement, as it were.
I believe in Occam's razor. There's money to be made. I wasn't selling to these banana boys. I don't trust them. I don't know what they're up to. Someone else in the family wanted to cut the deal. Simple as.
Right. I mean, as they noted, like as far as they're concerned, you're the only one that even knows what the intended destination for this stuff is. I mean, where are y'all shipping this off to once it's been refined?
Nowhere yet. I'm still looking for buyers. We got to find someone responsible who ain't gonna blow up half the world.
That's definitely a concern for sure. I mean, that's definitely very valuable. We have certainly excavation projects that could be done to extract resources for housing, supplies, buildings, and things like that. And even doing some other refinements if this can do some aggressive exothermic reactions or the like, depending on the combustion or the ignition that it engages. But yeah. That's a bit of a mystery here, but the whole family seems to be up there and having a hooting and hollering while we're waiting for the trap to work. But
yeah, I can't stay down here forever. This stuff's probably not safe to breathe, but I can't come out until I know who the traitor is. I've been trying to overhear the conversating, but no one's given themselves away yet. So if you could find the traitor and you can stop him, then I can reveal myself and get my arm reattached before it's too late.
All right. Well, I can try to see what I can relay up to my compatriot to see what we can do. In any case, I just got to make sure that when I make my exit that I don't draw too much attention to myself.
Yeah, you have to go and tell all your friends. Surely none of them have figured out that this stuff explodes. That would make them some kind of genius.
I mean, listen, listen, I wouldn't put it past them to figuring something out. You spend enough time around things, you have a knack for sussing out the truth of some matters here. But I guess in this case here, I will try to make my way on up. But by the way, name's Boyce. Pleased to make your acquaintance, and hopefully we can resolve this quickly without any unnecessary conflict or violence or further limbs being lost.
Yeah, my shaking arm's gone, so I'm just gonna nod at you respectfully. You get out there, champ, and you figure out who the bad guy is, and you give him what for.
Will do. I'll be on my way then. Thank you kindly. And Boyce is going to take one last look around to see if there's any other weird things down in the vent itself before making their exit, and doing so hopefully without drawing attention to themselves as they move.
Yeah, why don't you do a stealth check?
On the way out? That would be a 12, so not great, but it's above average.
Above average, yeah. If you were spotted, you don't notice.
Yeah. As soon as Boyce is out from the vent, they're going to kind of find Reaper and go straight to her, and trying to coax her over subtly so they can whisper something away from the prying ears of the rest of the family.
Yeah, you would not believe the fucking bodies crabs have. Mama Capeheart is a ghost crab. They have teeth in their stomach. They can grind together to make a novel noise.
I'm back. Why is Mama Capeheart making an awful stomach noise?
I'm sorry about ghost crabs. That's a thing they can do.
They have teeth in their bellies.
Cool.
They have teeth in their tummies. In their tummies.
Reaper will head over.
Quote, ghost crabs can rub the teeth inside their stomachs together to make a growling sound. I don't know what to tell you. They can just do that.
Once Reaper is over, Boyce is going to lean and be like, you found anything interesting out here?
No, but I think these things explode.
Yeah, that is, to say, I found out that from the source itself, if you get my drift.
The pit? The geyser?
Well, yeah.
They told you? Do they talk?
Well, no. There's someone in there that talked to me.
Oh. Like a geyser troll? Is it strong?
Well, it's. I mean, they're not at full strength. They are missing a limb currently, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
Oh,
so
I got one of those.
They've been defeated in combat and are weaker then.
I have a leg.
Oh. Oh!
Is that relevant?
What? Then mission accomplished. We found Dad.
Yes, except Dad is intentionally hiding because they suspect that instead of a banana boy being the perpetuator of the crimes around here, they suspect some sort of intra-family sabotage. They suspect one of their own is trying to cut...
Wait. I had this idea.
Yeah? What's that?
I had a thought before it happened. I thought of this one.
So someone here is trying to betray the family?
Or at least very much cut Pops out so they can make the cut of the profit themselves. They're currently having Pops is saying they're having trouble even finding like a buyer for this stuff. They're not even sure what it can be used for, other than the fact that, as you noted, Reaper, it's explosive and potentially dangerous in the wrong hands.
So I'm going to do something a little dumb.
Incredible. Yes.
Amazing.
I want to walk over to the thing of like refined stuff. I want to grab one out of the container. And then are all the crabs here?
Yeah, I mean, they're around. If you're trying to make a big show of it, I'm going to ask you to roll performance.
Yeah, basically, I want to grab one and then toss it towards the crabs and say catch, and basically see, because the only person who should react is the person who's betraying the family. No one else knows what this stuff does.
All right, so I'm going to need performance to see if you get enough attention that the trader is even looking.
Okay. I got an 11.
That's above average. The second thing I'm going to need you to do is make me an attack roll to throw it hard enough to detonate it. Because it could be that you whip it and it just bounces harmlessly off someone and nothing happens. So I need 2 for this. This is a good move, but there's two parts of this.
Sure. 14.
Yeah. Okay. So I was looking for 15. Here's what I'll give you is that
I'm getting 14 so much though. Just give it to me.
Come on. This is the third 14. This is the third 3 14s. This is at least equal to 15, you know?
That's not how math works, but I'll give you a little bit, which is you say like, oh, hey, catch, and you throw a brick of the refined explosives. So we can say that for sure. That's what this stuff is. And you just whip it into a crowd of crabs, and it stops midair as if stopped by a magical force and then slowly lowers to the ground. You don't know who did that, but you have revealed that the traitor is here and can see what's happening.
Oh,
everybody stay where they are.
Okay.
It's a game. Reaper's going to say to not, because it can't be all of the children. So,
Is the twins the ones that are down to fight with their boxing gloves?
Yeah, I mean, they both raise up their gloves and start shadow boxing.
Oh, no.
Barbella could maybe do something here.
Okay.
Okay. She's trying to come up with a don't get everyone to panic excuse for this, but her thought is she could cast Zone of Truth one more time, and we could get people to walk into Zone of Truth and answer something like, say something like, I don't know what the material that comes out the vent is. someone wouldn't be able to truthfully say that in the truth zone.
Sure, you could try that. I think it'd be. Are you rolling intimidation to be like, hey everyone, we're gonna play a fun game. Everyone come into my zone.
No, well, intimidation sounds like I'm trying to scare them into doing that. I don't want to do that with the new family. I want to like. This is a fun game. This is who knows about the vent? Everyone's favorite board game. Don't you remember playing that when you were growing up?
I mean, yeah. Without intimidation, I'm trying to think. If you start trying to tell people what to do, I think you'll be overruled by adults who are just like, no, none of that.
Okay. Intimidation's not the worst idea in the world, but I need some. What is no? Everyone's not gonna hate me for trying to get them to do this.
Can we roll an insight on the crowd to see if anyone seems suspicious right now, or looks like they're trying to be like sneaky?
See if someone's like sweating, like after stopping the brick, with their mind powers and stuff. Just
Sweating underwater.
That's right.
So not yet. Not enough has been revealed to pick up on. But if you want to roll intimidation to try the zone of truth plan, you can.
I don't want to scare my new family.
Can I do it? Because I'm perfectly happy to be the jerk here.
No, I'll do an intimidation. I'm gonna be sad about it, but 12.
Yeah, with a 12, I'll say that some of the people will agree, but not all. So if you look at here, the 5 main characters that I have pictures for, Mama, the twins, Grandpa, Grandma, and Cletus, I think only, let's see, Mama and the twins will agree. I mean, a bunch of other people too, not named, will go through your zone of truth.
Okay.
Okay,
well that is some people that I have ruled out.
Yeah.
The plan did something. So what? Cletus, who didn't go through of our named characters?
Cletus, Grandma, and Grandpa didn't. Yeah.
No one has detect magic, do they?
I do.
Can you cast it? Someone just cast a spell to make it the brick go away or calmly.
I will. Well, yeah, I could throw detect magic as an action, actually, because that actually reveals a feature Boyce has. So as an Order of Scribes wizard, Boyce has the ability once per day to cast a spell as a ritual, but with its normal casting time. So Boyce can cast detect magic as a ritual, not burn a spell slot, but do it as an action rather than an action plus 10 minutes.
All right, there are 2 magical effects active in the area. One is in the seta, or like the hair-like projections on Cletus the Yeti crab. Along his arms, there are all these look like big, thick hairs, and they glow as if magical. And in fact, because detect magic can detect the school, I will say you detect a number of different schools, maybe one for each. Along the hair-like structures on his arms. And the other one is on Grandma Capeheart, the candy crab, who has on her body, in addition to the camouflage, if you remember, candy crabs look like little pieces of candy. They're like yellow and pink, but they're like have little spikes and little camouflage on them. And some of that are actually polyps, which is an underwater creature that candy crabs cover themselves in as a form of camouflage, and those appear to be magical in some way.
I see. All right. So with that, yeah, we definitely have both of these individuals. So Boyce, I'm going to assume, sees this, and it's like thinking kind of in their mind, you can almost imagine Reaver being like, aha, so there's some sort of natural component of their bodies that allows them to clandestinely exude magical effects without the standard procedure of spell casting. Fascinating.
So I'm trying to remember something that Cletus said that might or might not be relevant. Did Cletus say that they were with Pops when the vent was found originally?
He did say that, yes.
Okay. Which I'm not. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. But if they're currently setting off detect magic, and also, look, if anyone would know what was in the vent, it might be the person who was there when the vent was found. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case. Just throwing those data points out.
I want to walk over and talk to Cletus. Be like, so, have you seen any of these business baron banana boys?
Yes, of course. They've been by a number of times.
Have you fought them?
Have I fought them? No. I eat bacteria that come out of the vents. I'm not a fighter. I'm carnivorous in the strictest sense, but I'm not out here biting people.
You don't consider yourself somebody prone to violence?
No.
Can I roll an insight?
Absolutely.
7.
You have no idea.
I said it with confidence.
Yeah, you really did.
If only someone knew the spell Detect Banana Badge. We'd be there. We'd be done.
Right now, we have it kind of whittled down to 2 suspects. One question is, who hates Pops more? That reminds me. So let's say, which side of the family is Grandma and Grandpa? Are they from Ma's side or Pa's side? I wonder.
Mama Capeheart? Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to that big galoot. He's all those limbs. It makes me uncomfortable.
I imagine. I mean, we like just seeing one of those limbs. It's kind of like, whoa. I wonder what the rest of him looks like. You know what I mean?
I was trying to get Mama to settle down with a coconut crab. You ever seen them? They're so handsome. so their jawline so perfect.
Boy, I to be honest, I was looking up coconut crab, and one of the first things I see is a video with the thumbnail "Thanks, I hate it" about the coconut crab.
Yeah, they're extraordinarily huge. They're the biggest crab. I was gonna have one down here, but they drown if you put them in water. IRL.
Also, they're known as the palm thief or the robber crab. That's pretty suspicious here. I guess the question is, if we can't find Papa, what's gonna happen to y'all here?
Thank you so much, youngster, for worrying about our family. And it claps you on the shoulder, dealing 4 damage to you because her body is made out of hypodermic needles.
That's 1/8 of my health. So thank you.
Wizards.
It's just like Boyce will grit their teeth and be like, "It's no problem, ma'am. We'll see if we can come up with a solution. Lickety split,
I see that you have things living on top of you.
Yeah, they're called polyps. They're the latest fashion.
What do they do?
Make me look nice.
Do they have a will of their own?
Well, yeah, they're a kind of animal. They're technically alive, but they don't like talk much. They don't have strong personalities.
Can they talk?
No.
So they're dumb.
Well, yeah, they're like on the line between plant and animal. It's kind of technically they're a Nidarian, I believe.
Are they magical?
No, they're creatures.
Can I roll an insight on her? Because that seems to conflict with what we learned from the detect magic.
Yeah, you don't need to roll anything. She's just lying. That's called lying. It's a high-level technique.
It's a special technique. It's my new technique. It's called the 1-inch lie. Just secret technique.
Nidarians are in the same family as jellyfish, which don't have brains but are still alive. So that's the kind of level of animal we're talking about.
Can I have one?
No. What? They're my polyps. What are you gonna do with the polyp?
I could wear it as well.
Don't you think they'd look good? They're fashioned, like a big hat, right?
I could take you polyp shopping. You want to go, honey? We can go into town.
Yes, but we're family now. Isn't it more personable to, like, exchange jewelry with those who are close to you?
She knows you're onto her and uses the polyp, which is her spellcasting focus, to cast Thunder Wave, the spell she used to ignite the red stuff and to blow off Papa Capeheart's arm, and she uses it on you. Constitution saving throw, Reaper.
Aww. 18.
Oh, shit.
You save, so that's not good.
No, it's not. That's what Reaper's gonna say. No, it's not.
You take 9 damage as the shattering wave of thunder damage comes out of the polyp, hits a pile of the explosives and ignites it, and suddenly you are on a battlefield where there are huge piles of explosives everywhere. And there's this red cloud that is now like wafting over the battlefield. Roll initiative.
15. As this breaks out, Barbella is gonna shout to Cletus, sorry, I was just checking whether you knew what the stuff was. It was a bluff, I'm sorry.
All right, Reaper, you're up first. Grandma Capeheart just tried to blow you up. She also earlier tried to drop a big boulder on all of your heads and kill you because you were investigating the scene of her blowing off a man's arm, if you'll recall.
You know, now it's pretty obvious now that we think about it. Shit.
Okay, so I'm going to spend 2 key points to do something. Reaper is going to, there's like shadow energy that's going to form between her hands as like a globe. And then it's like she's going to slowly stretch her hands away from each other, and the globe is going to grow and grow until it engulfs Granny Capeheart, and like the world will look like very monochromatic. I'm casting using one of my monk features to cast the spell Silence on her.
Oh.
Yo.
So she cannot do any spell casting that requires a verbal component.
That's bananas. All right. So you've already fought her. You know that hitting her is very difficult because she is just a ball of spines, but she doesn't seem to have many offensive capabilities because she was hiding that she's a spellcaster. So if that globe of darkness surrounds her and makes her unable to cast magic, that's really good. It looks like Barbella, you're up next.
Okay, first one does 4 damage, the second one does 5 damage, total of 9.
All right, so you rush up and start hitting Grandma Capeheart with your anchor.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right. At the end of your turn, the twins see you're attacking their grandma and start punching you. You're going to take 3 damage.
I understand why you're attacking us. Grandma's a banana boy.
You're a banana boy.
Okay, Grandma knows what's in the secret vent and attacked Pops.
You're in the secret vent, Pops.
You can't argue with this. They've got to step back.
These kids are probably amazing at riddles, honestly.
All right, Boyce, it's your turn.
One of the things that Boyce is going to do is instruct Gowdy to increase their size yet again to make them huge sized, mainly to act as like a barrier to protect others from like the explosives in the field, sort of like, you know, like, hey, just get behind the big mathematical construct for your own safety, everyone. I will elect simply to try to maybe freeze the polyps to keep them from being usable as spellcasting components with Ray of Frost in this case, perhaps. That is a 16 on the attack roll at range for that.
That hits.
That'll be 8 cold damage on Grandma.
All right, you start shooting Grandma, and the twins run up on you and start saying, "Does shoot cold lasers at Grandma!" And you take 3 damage as they start punching you in the back of the legs with their big boxing gloves made of venomous anemones.
Look, I'm sorry, but she's having a feud with your pa.
Grandpa Capeheart says, he wasn't sharing with the whole family. He was keeping all the secrets to himself, and he wouldn't even sell to the Banana Boys. What are we supposed to do? And she's going to disengage from Barbella, because you were in melee, and float over to Reaper and get in melee range with you specifically, because if you hit her, that's going to hurt you a lot, and she is getting up on your grill specifically to try to get that to happen. Meanwhile, Grandpa Capeheart says, I was going to inherit the whole family. It was going to be my family. The good-for-nothing, long-legged son of a bitch didn't know what he was doing. And tries to grab Barbella with the giant blue fiddler crab claw.
19 will do.
You take 9 damage, and then strength contest to see if you are grappled. I rolled a 6. That's not good.
I botched with 4.
Oh, no. All right. So Grandpa is, like I said, a electric blue fiddler crab. One of his claws is the size of the whole rest of his body, and he wraps it around you and it starts trying to crush you. Barbella, we're back to Reaper, Grandma's in your face. She was silent, so she couldn't do any magic on her turn, but she is just trying to bait someone into hitting her very dangerous spines.
Yeah, so Reaper is not going to fall for that. She is going to spend a key point to use a bonus action to do patient defense, which is where I get to do a dodge action, so attacks against me will have disadvantage. And I'm going to spend my action kind of loudly boasting to the family and focusing on trying to get the family to like kind of turn their attention against Grammy right now and Grandpa by being like,
I can't believe you'd make a decision for the entire family without talking it over at least. Think about how you're hurting everybody. Mama Capeheart, the twins, Cousin Cletus.
Poor innocent cousin Cletus that we never suspected at any point.
You're breaking his heart over there.
All right, Reaper, because you took time to ask all the family members what they wanted for Christmas, you get advantage on persuasion.
okay. Sure. I got a 13.
All right, 13's better than nothing. I'll say the twins at least back down. It's not like everyone immediately, 24 crabs get behind you and are like, we'll follow you to the ends of the earth, Reaper. But I'll stop having the twins hurt you.
The tide is turning now. Like, collectively, we're noticing that people are starting to be like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely seems to be the thing, is that, people are listening to you and they're processing it. Barbella, it's going to be your turn. Grandpa Capeheart has you grappled. What do you do?
Do I have to break out of the grapple, or can I just in the grapple start swinging the anchor at him?
You can do that. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to use my turn swinging the anchor at him, but first, while I've been grappled, I've been spending a few seconds flicking through the the laminated riddle book. And Barbella does start off the turn by locking eyes with him and saying, why would the crab attempt to steal the entire vent for themselves?
That's a very specific.
Oh, I know. Look, I might have changed the wording slightly, but look, it's holy text. I understand. Because it was shellfish.
Fuck me. Grandpa, Grammy both die instantly. The power of your riddle.
Yeah. So Barbella does like look up to the higher up in the ocean and go like, I'm sorry for changing the wording of the holy text. I hope you will forgive me, riddlefish. And then does start swinging the anchor.
Okay, that's incredible.
That's a botch on the first roll.
That's not good.
24 on the second.
All right. Yeah. So do your damage, and then you're gonna take half from the botch because you were getting crushed in the big fiddler claw.
9 damage, which means I'm taking 4 or 5 damage. But Fury of the Tides. Once per turn for the duration, I can choose to push a creature hit by my weapon attack 10 feet away from myself. what happens if I use this on my attack
Oh, you'll break
while
the
grappled?
Yeah, you'll break the grapple.
I'll break the grapple. Hell yeah! Fury of the Tides. I break the grapple.
Yay!
Yeah,
Look at me go.
So what does this whole turn look like? You're this claw that goes around your whole body and is crushing you. You say a prayer or, to reveal a riddle, which are kind of the same thing to you. And then you just hit him with such force and the water pushes him away. What's this look like?
Yeah. I think mechanically this is I hit him so hard that big gust of water pushes him back. I think the flavor is stunned by the shellfish riddle. Maybe that grip wasn't quite as strong as it should have been, which certainly helps that gust of water to sort of knock him back.
All right, you take some damage from the claw, being around you pretty firmly when he's pushed away, but could have been worse, and now it's Boyce's turn.
All right, so now that the twins are not attacking Boyce anymore, I think at this point, since some of them have been talked down by Reaper, Boyce might think it's a relevant opportunity to scoot it over to the edge of the vent and shout on down to Paw to relay the news, basically just declaring Papa Capeheart, we figured it's the in-laws. The in-laws are it's Graham and Gramps, effectively. Spending their whole action basically getting over to the vent and calling down to relay the discovery, since it's a bit too desperate to do this discreetly, I guess.
Yeah, you hear a voice from inside the vent saying, I knew it. She never respected me. She never approved of me. At this point, Grandma Capeheart is out of the orb of silence that Reaper cast. She has moved away from it specifically. It raises up the polyp on her shell, which is her spellcasting focus, and casts Thunder Wave on Boyce. Boyce, you're at the edge of the vent. It explodes, and you and Papa Capeheart, who's in the vent, are all going to get pretty hurt.
I'm double checking that I don't have any resources on hand I can do in response to this, so nope. It's a 13 for the Constitution saving throw.
All right, you take 12 damage as the red explosives ignite from the Thunder Wave. This is what she did to Pop back in the day, and now it just rips through the air. It hits you, hits him, and the battlefield is completely obscured now by blowing red particulate across the battlefield.
What type of damage? Sorry.
Thunder damage.
Okay, I am going to use a reaction after this triggers, actually.
Okay.
I'm going to use Absorb Elements.
All right.
Which, as a reaction, I can use it after receiving thunder damage to have resistance to the damage. And then if I make a melee attack, I can slap some bonus damage on it. I'm doing this just to reduce the damage, so I'm only taking 6 instead of 12.
All right. That is going to be there's an explosion. Thunder damage is just like the blast wave. Underwater explosions are actually really toned down. So as I explained to you before, if this stuff gets brought up onto the surface, it is going to be on a whole other level. Down here, it's obviously bad. It can blow a limb off, but it's actually less effective here. So that's interesting. And then Barbella, Grandpa's going to run at you again and say, get back here. 24.
24 will hit.
All right, you are going to take 6 damage, and we're going to strength contest again. I got a 6 again. I think I got a 6 last time.
Strength contest, right.
You're ruining it. We almost had it.
22.
All right, Barbella, he can't get his big claw around you. You're too buff.
But Barbella just sternly looks and says, "You heard the riddle. Shellfish. It sounds like selfish. That's the riddle."
It sure does. And you know who else?
That's what you're being.
No, I was trying to help the family. Papa's being selfish. She's trying to keep it. Oh, just can't give the banana boys the stuff just because they're going to sell it to the elf navy and blow up half the planet? Who cares?
I mean, probably the elf navy.
No, they love it. They love to blow things up.
Oh, I thought they were getting blown up.
No, the elf.
Someone's getting blown up, though, and they'll care.
Yeah, but I won't. I'll buy myself a whole new burrow in the ground. It'll be nice. It'll have all the amenities. I'll have a little jacuzzi. I'll have the finest little brine shrimp to eat. What do fiddler crabs eat? What do fiddler crabs eat?
Opening up his phone.
Well, my shell phone. I'm popping over the shell phone here. Let's see here.
Algae, bacteria, fungus, and detritus. The finest detritus that money can buy.
You bide us detritus.
Reaper, it's your turn.
Since Reaper is so hurt right now, she really can't afford to strike Mama Grammy Capeheart, but stopping her from being able to just explode these bombs seems like a big priority. So I'm going to use the last of my key points to cast Silence again, focused on top of her.
All right, so you're a shadow monk, and you can just create these orbs of void that swallow up all magic.
Yeah, I could create a field of silence.
All right, you do that again, keeping her from blowing up the battlefield, and it's Barbella's turn.
Cool. Barbella's gonna cast Divine Favor on herself, which means that I'm now radiating divine little magic, which means that my weapon attacks will all deal an extra 1d4 radiant damage on a hit.
Oh snap!
And I think the flavor of this is Barbella attempts to create her own riddle in this moment. This is not one from the book. It's not a particularly good one. What do you call a fish with no eyes? A fish is still a fish.
Oh,
that's what.
Yeah.
It's you don't call it different. It's a fish still.
Okay.
It's not a very good one, but Barbella's working on it. But it is good enough that she gets a little divine radiance from the riddle fish for a little bit of bonus damage. So let's roll those attack rolls. Plus another 3, so 13 damage, 3 of which is radiant.
All right, so you slam your glowing anchor into Grandpa, who slides back. You two are locked in a pretty cool duel here. It is now Boyce's turn.
I have a really bad idea.
This is like the 8th time someone said that this episode. You can just do good ideas.
You said there's a bunch of these bricks of this explosive powder just laying around the battlefield, right?
Sure is.
I have a spell called Catapult.
Sick, nasty.
So Boyce is gonna yell out to Reaper, "Hey Reaper, get down!" And it's gonna cast a 3rd level catapult on one of those bricks to throw it at Grandma Capeheart.
Oh balls! All right.
So, choose an object weighing 1 to 5 pounds, or in this case, 1 to 15 pounds. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in the direction you choose before falling to the ground, stopping early if it impacts against a solid surface. If it would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw versus 15.
All right, and Grandma is a little rock with spikes, so -1 is her dex save. That's a 3.
So she and the brick take 5d8 damage here. So that's wow, that's a bad roll. 16 damage. And if you want, and I'm not sure that will cause it to detonate or not, but
no, I mean it does. We've established that's what she's doing. If it works for her, it works for you. So add the effect of Thunder Wave onto that, which is 2d8 thunder damage.
It is worth noting that everything inside of my silence field is immune to thunder damage.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's part of why I'm casting it.
Well, and honestly, that makes this even better, though, right? Because basically, it's able to throw the thing. It slams into Grandma Capeheart, and then it just puffs away. But it's just mostly just getting Reaper to duck so that this God dang it, that's possible 40 damage. Rolled only 16, but still, that's what Boyce does on their action there. And then they're going to get away from the vent. Actually, they'll check to see if Pops looks okay down there and then get away from the vent.
I mean, no, he just got exploded. He looks like he's pretty, hurt like you all are, but
he's having a rough day.
Yeah. But you have kind of exposed a secret cheese strat for this encounter because you all are kind of getting your asses beat. But there's grenades all over the battlefield. It so happens that one, which would have done really, really impressive damage, is negated by the silence. But Grandma's gonna have to run away from that orb that you made, Reaper, and is going to try to get the spell off next turn. But now that you know how this works, let's see. Grandpa Capeheart is going to try to grab Barbella again. So as you two are continuing to your beefy battle, this giant claw and your giant muscles. That's a 14.
Is that the strength contest, or is that against my AC?
AC.
That does not reach my AC.
All right. And then let's see here. 13. So neither of those hit. So now you're just blocking. You're blocking. You don't even need to. I see you've crit on a roll to strength contest, but you don't need to because he hasn't touched you, so he cannot grapple you.
I didn't realize he had to touch me.
Yeah.
It does make sense that he has to touch me. Even if he had touched me, I rolled a crit to be like, fuck off, no.
Yeah. So this is the kind of battle now. It's just Grandpa and Barbella are swinging their big weapons at each other, and in the background, Reaper, Boyce, and Grandma are locked in some kind of explosive battle of wits. And we're back to Reaper.
So I could do the smart thing,
Oh, fuck me.
or I could do the cool thing.
All right.
Cool thing.
This is cool to me. I think Reaper is going to take stock of the situation, and I want her to swim around and grab like a couple of these bricks, and then go over to where Grandpa and Barbella are fighting, and try to intimidate Grammy, saying,
You need to stop now, or I'll blow up Grandpa.
I mean, roll intimidation.
that's an 11. A solid 11.
No, she just raises a claw with a polyp on it, going to use magic to detonate the bricks in your hand on her turn. We're not there yet, but you are now holding grenades she can detonate at will.
That's my turn. I can't do anything else.
Yeah, Barbella's just gonna keep swinging that nice radiant anchor around. Come on, got to be enough hits soon. 16 and 19.
Both 16 and 19 hit.
Okay, so let's roll the regular damage on each hit is 4 and 7, and then we roll the extra bit. 1 and 1. Not particularly great, but altogether that's 4, 11, 12, 13 damage.
Yeah, you rolled pretty poorly on the damage. You did some okay hits there. It's getting close. You're winning the fight against Grandpa. I'll say that much. You know, he's got a big dangerous claw, but he's getting up there in years, and you're young and spry.
Yes. Yeah, Barbella does shout, "This is not an ideal weapon. I should have brought something that could like crack the skull or the shell or something. I think they make a tool for that."
Oh, that's disgusting to us. We hate that. That's an evil symbol.
Yeah, well, you tried to kill off one of your family members, and we're family now, which means you tried to kill one of my family, and that's gross.
Got him.
Boyce, it's your turn, and I want to reiterate the situation here because it's gotten very precarious, which is you're away from the melee. Reaper's holding several bricks of explosives next to Grandpa and Barbella, and Grandma, it looks like she's about to pop off and detonate them. So you're at a distance away, but
you explained that Grandma was holding up a claw with the polyp on it, right?
Yeah, it's like she's a wizard, has her wizard staff, basically.
Right. So I'm gonna do catapult again, aiming at her arm, her claw arm, to blow it off like she blew off Pop's arm.
Okay, here we go. I had to make a dexterity save
Against 15.
Yep. Against 15. That's a 2. Oh boy.
That's 17 damage plus the thunder wave of 2d8. So that's a 22 damage focused on her arm with the polyp there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid hit. The brick flies over, hits her, explodes. She doesn't lose the arm. She's pretty badly damaged. It was close. I was worried about that. You were just going to take her out one shot. I think at last turn, if the silence hadn't eaten that thunder damage, it might have worked.
And then as a bonus action, Boyce is going to Misty Step up in Grandma's grill, just to kind of like get up close.
Oh, okay. So is she gonna have disadvantage on spellcasting because you're in melee range with her?
Not only for ranged attacks. Thunderwave does not require that, but that's just what Boyce is doing there, just to get up close to just like being like listen, and be like, ma'am, listen, I know that you think that your son-in-law is a big old doofus with too many limbs and not enough foresight to do what's best for the family. But you have to understand that blowing his arm off and trying to usurp the business from underneath them is going to ultimately make things really uncomfortable during the family holidays. We have to kind of re-explain why you felt it was necessary to cut him out of the relationship. And also, what about your daughter and her feelings, huh?
You teleport using Misty Step into Grandma's face, and she says, damn, boy, you almost got me. That was close. And she's like smoking from the explosion, and her spellcasting focus glows. And Reaper, the bricks in your hand are hit with Thunderwave. Everybody in the blast radius, Constitution saving throw. That's Barbella and Grandpa as well, so I'm going to roll for him.
I rolled a 5. I failed.
12.
Uh-oh. Everyone fails. Everyone's toast. Big explosion. I think, Reaper, you try to throw the brick away, but it does not get far enough. It explodes. I actually rolled really low on the damage possibly there. That could have been much worse, but with the blast wave hits Barbella, Reaper, and Grandpa Capeheart, who is knocked out and blasted away. The blue fiddler crab just floating to the edge of this battle with the red smoke and dust in the air. It's just like, the explosion like ripped through the area. Capeheart crabs running in every direction, scuttling. Barbella, you're a huge paladin, so you're probably not down. Reaper, are you still up?
Okay, I'm not down.
Thankfully.
Oh, Lord. All right, Reaper, you emerge from the smoke of the explosion, very close to going down for the second time in the first arc.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. At this point, Reaper is going to torpedo straight towards Grammy, and I'm just going to attack her.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
25 and 21.
I can't believe you would threaten all of us, even Grampy. You'd burn all of our family. You don't deserve the Capehearts.
Oh my God, this can't be how this ends. Roll damage. It's like you were holding back the whole time. I know there's a famous anime moment
17.
where someone is wearing a weighted belt and they drop it. That's what you've done.
Yeah, 17 damage.
Okay, so you take 8 damage, first of all. Are you down?
Yeah, we're going out together.
All right, pay me this picture.
Reaper is going to shockingly survive the explosion and is going to be like rather hurt to see that she did that, and like Grandpa got hurt as well, and he's like very tired and huffing and puffing. So like she gets really mad, and she is going to like as I said, like torpedo speed herself straight towards Grammy and like reel back with her harpoon, which she'll strike with, and then reach back again and just punch as hard as she can through one of Grammy's spines, breaking Grammy's shell, but also knocking herself out in the process.
Okay, there's a double KO. You both do the slow motion Tekken like roar as you fly back from each other and land on the ground unconscious. Reaper, last time you went down, the goblin shark last time chewed you up, and it was just a cosmetic scar. Is this one gonna have any permanent effect on you?
Not yet. It seems wild to like completely jack up my character in the first arc. But there is
I'm proud of the restraint. Well done.
But there is an emotional scar in Reaper's heart right now, because she kind of thought she did have a family, and I think she's realized she doesn't.
Oh.
Boyce uses cure wounds on Reaper, since Reaper is just like they're both just like both Grandma and Reaper are just on the ground there. So just like Boyce just pats Reaper on the shoulder to cure her up a little bit to get her not unconscious. Just like I think we've diffused the situation, as it were.
Yeah, Reaper is going to get up, cough, and I want to clearly specify something. I did not do lethal damage to Grammy. It was
sure,
like a non-lethal thing. So Reaper is going to walk over and just like snatch the polyps off of her and just say,
There, the job's done now, isn't it? We found Papa Capeheart. Let's go home.
Oh, I'm gonna give the leg back.
Yeah,
Want your leg back.
that's a great point. So none of you have the cleric ability to restore limbs or to repair them, I believe. That's a pretty high level spell. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's a medicine check to see if you got here in time.
I can do a medicine check with my just straight D20. 14.
It's a 9 from Boyce.
I will note Reaper is not participating. She's like, didn't say we had to find the full Papa Capeheart. We just found him.
Yeah. With a 14, I don't think that's going to be enough. You try, and I think you get pretty close. Luckily, crabs can regenerate limbs.
Yeah, I did Google this at the episode where Barbella made the plan, and I did not let that, my knowledge and Barbella's knowledge are very different things. Barbella does do her very best to smush it and go... It just keeps falling away as soon as she stops, like, applying pressure.
Yeah, there's actually a very controversial fishing method where people catch crabs, tear their claws off, and throw them back because they'll grow back. But, like, how you expect them to survive having just been declawed? It's, probably not a good idea. Regardless, you do not reattach Papa Capeheart's arm, but you did reveal the traitor. You did blow up a lot of stuff. So there's kind of a scene of chaos here, but there's the red dust is like settling enough that people are running towards you now, and like, the scene, securing the scene, and like kids are climbing all over you.
I imagine this does mean a lot of the family know what the geyser is producing now.
Oh yeah, no, I think that secret's out in a big way.
Yeah. Well, hey, now you know what happens if you try and kill other members of the family over this geyser. You don't want us coming back and having to sort this out again, because we don't want any of our new family getting murdered, okay?
Grandpa Capeheart says, "Wait, you're not gonna arrest us, deputies?"
I don't know if we are. That's not my department. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
As far as I can tell, this is pretty much a family dispute, So
it's just you can just try to murder your family members and it's fine. That's an incredible law system. I love this.
I didn't say that. I mean, it's more of like, it's up to you all to determine what's going on around here,
Look, I can tell you out of character why I didn't suggest arresting them, and a big part of it is... growing up with, like, a pair of cop parents, in my head, I very much am like, yes, the idea of arresting a family member is like, that's, you don't, even, no matter what, you don't involve the law in the family. That's, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Reaper just disarming Grandma and walking away. It sounds like you all are just leaving, which is a totally valid choice. I just want the characters in world to acknowledge your style, which is that you're not hauling them away. So, because there's a world where you put both these people in the pokey in the old West jail, and then they're doing stuff. They're yelling at you when you're you're in there.
So like Reaper's mindset is, we didn't need that. It wasn't the mission. Wasn't to arrest who attacked the family and bring it back. It was to like find the Capehearts, and then like Papa Capeheart was missing. He's back. So the mission is for all intents and purposes, done. But she also just wants to leave because she's really sad right now.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just like, mission's done, and she's just going to start heading back.
Well, in that case, I think Barbella would follow that lead. I don't think Barbella is like, my sense of justice demands I must lock you in a cell over this. It's like, hey, if you fucked up and you're not gonna do any more murder, cool.
So, like, on that note, if you need any help, like rebuilding your camp into a more formal estate or a home for the whole family here, be sure to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help figure out a best plan for y'all to, have enough space for everyone and all that.
And if anyone tries to murder anyone else in the family again, let me know. I have the big metal thing to hit them with.
And then riddles to confuse them with, too.
And riddles to confuse them with. I have so many riddles if any of you try to murder any other of you again.
The twins are chasing after Reaper and like trying to do your move, where you torpedoed your body into a big spike on purpose, and they're like reenacting that on each other.
Reaper's just going to kind of like look back, and she gets very quiet, and then she just says, weak, and kind of turns around and keeps heading back. But it's not clear if she said that like to the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the twins are just like weak, and they're punching each other in the face.
That's actually a great visual as they chant weak as Reaper sadly swims away.
Oh no!
It's far more fitting than I could have possibly intended.
And then with that, Boyce and Barbella probably swim after to catch up to Reaper. God is short behind. Oh boy.
All right, so the first arc is complete. Wet Team, you have succeeded in solving the mystery of the missing Capeheart family, and you all go back to your homes. Reaper, you sulk off back to the gig. The words weak ringing in your ears from the twins. And, over the next couple of days and so forth, you all get back to your lives, helping out the community. Nothing that interesting happens. But one morning, Barbella, you wake up and find outside your room in the hotel, there's been a gift left for you. Wrapped up with a nice little bow is a spear, a +1 weapon, made from the leg of the spider crab hominid Papa Capeheart, a long, reinforced, magically enchanted spear for your paladin to wield. Boyce, you also get a present. One day you wake up and outside your room is a little box, and you open it up and you find, along with a nice note from the Capehearts who you saved, including Mama Capeheart, when you defeated the goblin shark to save her. And you get a nice little note thanking you, and a brick of explosives, because what would the Wild West setting be without ready access to extremely unstable dynamite? Yeehaw.